start the comparisons, I think it is what it is. It's just a standard measurement. And I take
applaud them when they win. I criticize them when they're messing up in an effort to make sure that you don't do it again. I'm not wishing anybody to fail, but I have to call it how I see it, because I have an audience to answer to. These players, I don't get paid to talk to.
A viral video allegedly leaked by Michael Jordan didn't just expose LeBron James, it detonated a scandal years in the making, one that ties the NBA's biggest star to a hip-hop mogul's trafficking empire. The clip surfaced only weeks after federal indictments revealed Sean Diddy Combs' notorious freak-off parties were more than tabloid folklore. Prosecutors claimed the mogul arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded intimate performances at his events, a phrase that sent shockwaves through both the music and sports worlds. Then came the echo from the past, LeBron's own voice in a resurfaced 2020 Instagram Live declaring,
"Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so..."
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
5 years ago, it sounded playful. Now, replayed against Diddy's criminal allegations, it read like unintentional self-incrimination. We can trace the chain reaction from there. Diddy's former associate Rodney Lil Rod Jones had just filed a lawsuit describing those same recordings and the coercion behind them, reigniting questions about who might have been captured on camera. The timing of the LeBron clip's appearance, mere days after Jones' claims hit court filings, made the coincidence impossible to ignore. Internet sleuths lined up the dates and concluded the leak wasn't random. The story had purpose.
Let's talk about LeBron James, the Lakers head coach, saying he is out for personal reasons. It's an excused absence. However, social media trying to connect it to a resurfaced clip where James joined Diddy Combs on a live stream and said, quote, "Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party." I think that went viral. I remember when he...
Here's where it gets stranger. In late 2023, Michael Jordan appeared in Paris, cool as ever, promoting a new Jordan brand campaign. When a reporter mentioned LeBron's name, Jordan smirked and said, "Some guy called James. Oh, is he playing?" The press laughed. At the time, it seemed like routine teasing, but within months, that offhand comment became forensic evidence in the court of social media. Because just as the laughter faded, the so-called LeBron video detonated across X, TikTok, and Reddit. Early tracking reports placed the original upload from an anonymous North Carolina server, the same state tied to Jordan's business empire. Within half an hour, the account vanished, leaving only screen records and speculation. Then in March 2024, federal agents raided Diddy's Los Angeles and Miami estates, uncovering digital archives said to include classified recordings linked to a network of synthetic celebrity content. Among those findings were folders labeled for metadata analysis, entries that, according to insiders, match timestamps from the LeBron leak. Whether authentic or deepfake, the overlap was too tight for coincidence.
How do you personally view that legacy that he's built? And do you think that by the end he will merit a place in that conversation of top 3, top 1?
What was the name again? Pardon me, who?
Some guy called James, LeBron James.
Oh, okay, LeBron James. Is he playing?
Meanwhile, LeBron's 2023 comment, "We don't talk," about his relationship with Jordan returned to headlines like a premonition. It was never meant as hostility, but now it read like estrangement. Commentators reframed it as evidence that something deeper was fractured between them. When two men define eras of greatness, any silence feels like war. By April 2024, online forums were running wild with alleged motives. Some insisted Jordan had orchestrated the release as revenge, a veteran guarding his throne. Others argued the opposite, that he was framed by digital operatives exploiting his name. What kept the fire burning was the precision of the leak. It hit at the intersection of multiple scandals: Diddy's criminal trial, renewed debate over celebrity privacy, and the unending Jordan versus LeBron comparison. Sources close to Nike's crisis team began whispering that the leak looked too convenient. We've learned that a confidential internal memo circulated that same week, activating crisis clauses for both Jordan Brand and LeBron's signature line. Those clauses, usually reserved for off-court misconduct or political controversies, trigger brand containment strategies, social monitoring, temporary campaign freezes, and, in some cases, silent collaboration between rival teams. If true, that means Nike itself was bracing for fallout, connecting its two most valuable faces.
That was mandatory. You didn't fall within one of the exceptions. What now happens when you've been convicted of 2 of those particular charges? That's what the judge is going to be looking at. And again, right now, considering it sounds like statements that the defense made, essentially admitting that Sean Combs is somebody who has had personal problems, but they were doing so to try and argue that he should not be found guilty.
We can't ignore the coincidence that Diddy's trial, which publicly revealed his obsession with recording private acts, opened the same week the LeBron footage first trended worldwide. Prosecutors laid out a web of digital archives, allegedly documenting years of blackmail material. In court transcripts reviewed by media outlets, they detailed how recordings were cataloged by date, event, and participant code. Then came the twist. Federal cyber investigators disclosed that some of those digital caches were duplicated through an advertising network designed to monetize viral scandals. Analysts believe that's the same network that distributed the LeBron clip. Insiders within the entertainment industry now claim that several celebrities' teams received quiet warnings months before the Diddy raids, advising them to review their digital exposure. One of those warnings, reportedly sent through encrypted corporate channels, listed initials LJ as a potential target. Whether that was coincidence or foresight remains unclear, but the convergence of Diddy's downfall and LeBron's humiliation painted a single narrative arc: exposure as entertainment and power as currency.
He talks in this complaint read about fearing for his life, not just while he was working for Sean Combs, but afterwards. He tells stories about physical violence, about a time where he actually had to drive 100 miles an hour to try to escape Mr. Combs, and says he didn't call the police because he worried that that would be a sentence.
The more we dig, the harder it becomes to separate fact from orchestration. Jordan's smirk in Paris, LeBron's resurfaced Instagram Live, the timing of federal raids, all real, all documented. What remains in question is motive. Was this an accident born from chaos, or a surgical strike meant to reshape legacy? Behind the scenes, corporate strategists were in full damage control. Public statements were scarce, but financial analysts noticed Nike stock briefly dipped 17% the day the story broke. Small, but meaningful in a market that rarely reacts to rumor alone. While the footage itself has been scrubbed from mainstream platforms, digital footprints linger in cached mirrors and overseas archives. Independent investigators traced reposts through accounts tied to ad broker chains that previously trafficked fake celebrity material. Those same chains reportedly operated bots, amplifying the story through hashtags combining both athletes' names. The pattern fits a manipulation campaign, but the question remains: who ordered it and why now? When we look closer at the cultural landscape, the leak landed at a moment when masculinity in sports was under renewed scrutiny. Diddy's alleged freak-off parties had already blurred lines between dominance and vulnerability in celebrity culture. The possibility, real or fabricated, that LeBron appeared in a compromising setting under that shadow carried more than gossip value. It challenged the image of invulnerability that has defined him for 2 decades. LeBron's own camp kept silent for days, adhering to the oldest crisis management tactic: don't feed the fire. But, as headlines multiplied, silence itself became suspicious. Commentators debated whether his restraint was strategic or incriminating. Candace Owens publicly questioned why the king would speak on every political issue but stay quiet about his friend's alleged excesses. The remark trended for 48 hours, amplifying the narrative that LeBron had something to hide.
Tick-tock, tick-tock, the clock is ticking on Diddy, because on Friday he finds out what his sentence is going to be, but today, he found out what prosecutors would like that sentence to be, and it is vastly different from what his attorneys have suggested to the judge. Prosecutors want him to do 11 years, just over 11.
At the same time, archived footage of Diddy's lavish white parties began circulating again, mixed with new reports of federal seizures from his Hamptons mansion. Witnesses described seeing celebrity men engaging in intimate acts, and a trail of digital recordings later confirmed by prosecutors. The eerie part was that the language in the indictment, arranged, directed, and often recorded, matched the gossip formula now consuming LeBron's reputation. The line between victim, participant, and target was blurring. Still, some analysts began to see another layer beneath the spectacle. If Jordan truly had no involvement, then whoever triggered the leak weaponized his myth for credibility. Attaching his name guaranteed global attention. Attaching LeBron's ensured endless debate. It's not just scandal, it's precision marketing through chaos, the kind that turns legends into pawns in someone else's financial operation.
You had day 17 in the Diddy trial as the biggest one yet. Guess what? Bingo, you won, because today was probably the most eventful day as far as things that happened that were said on the stand, and most importantly, things that the judge said, because Diddy almost got kicked out of his own trial.
And yet, inside Nike's Portland headquarters, the chatter went beyond brand safety. We've heard from people familiar with internal discussions that executives suspected a diversion tactic, something designed to redirect attention from undisclosed litigation affecting one of their global partners. Whether that meant Diddy's case or a yet unseen threat to the sports empire itself, no one would confirm. Because if this was just about basketball, why did the footage drop the same week Diddy's trial exposed a network of secret recordings? And why was LeBron's name the only one attached? The fallout wasn't just about the video, it was about the money. Within a week, LeBron's social engagement numbers plunged by 27%, a free fall that mirrored the implosion of Diddy's corporate empire when sponsors pulled out after his federal indictments. Nike, Beats, and Sprite quietly froze planned campaigns featuring LeBron's face, opting instead to push older evergreen ads. For a man whose image had long been synonymous with reliability, that kind of silence from billion-dollar partners said more than any press release ever could. The same playbook that Diddy's empire had collapsed under, corporate distance and moral optics, was now being used against LeBron.
He put his hands on females, put his hands on producers, executives. That's just his. I guess that's what the whole name Bad Boy comes from. That people don't really understand. What is it? What is a bad boy? Why did he choose that name? Like he never really gave a clear definition of how he feels about that name.
Meanwhile, Jordan's camp seemed to play a different game entirely. Insiders called it dignified silence, but others recognize it as strategic dominance. While LeBron's team scrambled to reassert his humanity with inspirational reposts, most notably his old clip captioned, "Love who you are, always," Jordan's world stayed deliberately still. Every time LeBron spoke, Jordan's restraint made him look above the noise. NBC Sports even labeled LeBron's post "damage control in disguise," suggesting his public vulnerability had been turned into ammunition against him. The contrast was perfect tabloid theater. One legend talking too much, the other saying nothing at all. But here's what no one's asking. The deeper question isn't who leaked what, it's who benefits financially from the scandal. Diddy's freak-off empire had always relied on celebrity proximity. His private gatherings weren't just parties, they were networking arenas where power traded favors in dim light. Court filings described a culture of voyeurism, where two people you would not think would be hooking up were captured for private viewing. For years, LeBron wasn't just an occasional guest in that orbit, he was a vocal fan. His 2020 remark, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party," aged like a confession when prosecutors began confirming those secret recordings existed.
Knowing that I've talked for a while, a lot of people are buzzing that Diddy's former BFFs are real quiet.
And they have been.
And people were wondering why and who's the next to fall. And then Jay-Z comes out and then LeBron James says, "I'm stepping away for excused personal reasons." And people are going, oh, what is going on?
We've learned from people close to the investigation that Diddy's party lists were more than RSVPs, they were ledgers of influence. Those who attended regularly benefited from proximity, brand deals, cross-promotions, investment introductions. LeBron, with his media company and entertainment ventures, had reasons to be in that room beyond fun. The optics alone linked him to an underworld of celebrity manipulation, even if he never crossed a legal line. When Diddy's associates started talking about files, codes, and archives, LeBron's name came up, not as a participant in crimes, but as a recognizable constant at events where cameras shouldn't have existed. Then came the contradiction that poured fuel on the fire. In May 2024, long before the viral video appeared, LeBron unfollowed Diddy on social media, a small gesture that now reads like a warning shot. Yet the move did nothing to untangle his name from the moguls. Within days of Diddy's arrest, the internet resurrected the old footage of LeBron dancing with him at a dinner party. Suddenly, the images that once symbolized brotherhood were reframed as evidence of complicity. Candace Owens publicly pressed the question millions were already whispering. Why was LeBron silent when he'd spoken so loudly about every other social issue?
It was like, wow, for Diddy? What? That was a person that I looked up to. He was a mogul. And I listened to all the artists that he made superstars. And so to have a chance to be able to be signed to him, it was amazing. It was like, oh my God, I'm here. I finally did it.
That silence echoed louder when industry leaks suggested Jordan's team had access to timing analytics, linking the first re-upload of the LeBron clip to the same week Diddy's trial reached its most lurid testimony. Prosecutors described caches of recordings, files labeled with initials, dates, and venues. Somewhere in that digital chaos, an algorithm allegedly pushed content featuring LeBron to the top of viral feeds. Coincidence or coordination? The alignment was uncanny enough to keep YouTube analysts replaying timelines like detectives. The scandal's digital footprint also led us into a darker corner of the entertainment machine, the so-called deep fake economy. Investigators studying the metadata behind the LeBron clip began noticing familiar upload markers tied to global ad revenue farms operating out of Eastern Europe and Southeast Asia. Those same networks had already been connected to synthetic videos involving A-list actors, influencers, and even political figures, each release timed to coincide with real-world controversies. The pattern was clear. Shot content drives clicks, and clicks generate revenue. Whether the footage was authentic, altered, or completely fabricated stopped mattering once the algorithms began rewarding engagement. We have since learned that the same advertising structures flagged in Diddy's criminal case, servers storing synthetic celebrity material and selling ad space through automated exchanges, may also have hosted the LeBron clip. In that world, morality is secondary to metrics. The faster the outrage spreads, the higher the payouts for those managing the feeds. Analysts tracking these uploads noted that several of the accounts boosting the LeBron story also pushed manipulated videos of other high-profile athletes and musicians within the same 24-hour window. It wasn't revenge or rivalry, it was commerce disguised as chaos.
Hey LeBron, how you doing tonight, man? Yo, you wish Diddy happy birthday, man? Where do you get the man that has everything, LeBron?
Jordan's leak might have been real, fake, or something in between, but the people who profit from it don't care. Their industry thrives on the blurring of truth, using celebrity reputation as raw material for an attention economy worth millions in monthly ad turnover. Every deletion, every copyright strike, only fuels scarcity value, making the footage more desirable in private channels. And if LeBron's team is paying to scrub this from the internet, someone's getting very rich off his silence. At the corporate level, the impact was seismic. Nike's crisis division reportedly convened what one insider called a dual protection protocol, balancing two titans under the same roof, Jordan and LeBron, without letting either brand damage the other. Marketing analysts described it as containing a civil war inside the swoosh. Publicly, both men represented the same company. Privately, they were competing for moral dominance. When Nike's internal emails later leaked, one phrase stood out: maintain unity optics at all costs. It suggested not damage control, but active suppression. We can't forget that the scandal came just as federal prosecutors exposed Diddy's alleged digital collection of intimate footage featuring multiple celebrities. The headlines about recording without consent landed the same week as the mysterious LeBron clip. Every entertainment outlet knew that timing couldn't be random. Even if the footage was fabricated, the narrative wasn't. LeBron's image was suddenly tied to a convicted man whose entire empire was built on secret recordings. The symbolism was brutal.
I thought he was this clean businessman who rise to the top because he was such a powerful and smart, educated man. I had no idea that he had this other side to him. And when I started to get exposed to his lifestyle, I started to really realize, like, this guy has an addiction. It's not just, once every few weeks, it's every day, every hour.
Behind closed doors, power brokers debated what the public never would. Some believed Jordan had simply allowed LeBron's downfall to play out, a silent competitor watching history clear the field. Others whispered that the leak was a smokescreen meant to distract from deeper scandals connecting Diddy's finances to sports marketing ventures. And a few, the most cynical of all, argued it was neither rivalry nor revenge, but a corporate cleanup job designed to protect billion-dollar sponsorships by sacrificing a single storyline.
Are you surprised by the evidence that's already coming out in the criminal trial?
No, I'm not surprised. I experienced some of those things. Witness violence.
As new court documents continue to emerge, one truth has become unavoidable. Whether the footage was authentic or manufactured, its timing was surgical. The narrative landed with precision, colliding legacy, scandal, and commerce into one unstoppable storm. The video might be fake, but the timing isn't. And neither is the fact that LeBron's legacy is now forever linked to a man facing federal charges for recording people without their consent. So was this a calculated takedown, a smokescreen, or something far darker? An invisible war between fame and control. We may never know who really pressed upload, but one thing's clear: in the empire of influence, silence speaks louder than truth. What do you think? Did the legend strike back, or did the machine eat its own? Until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and keep watching the game behind the game.